Hello everyone, this is Darko 2012 with Global Government News, and I'm covering an article titled Lieberman has no plans to endorse in Massachusetts Senate race, and this was posted on thehill.com. Uh, the only reason I'm covering this article is because I don't like Lieberman. I think he's a traitor, piece of scum, and I don't think he's not American. I don't think he respects the Constitution. Um, I think that he's just basically a person that will go wherever the military industrial complex, wherever the globalist, wherever the anti freedom, anti liberty um, uh, legislation is going, that's where you'll find Lieberman. So, because we have a majority of Democrats right now in Congress, Mr. Two Faced Independent Joe Lieberman will go with usually with the Democrats because it's easier to expand their globalist, huge mega state agenda. And so when there's times like this where you have a majority of Democrats in Congress, you'll have shithead. He'll just kind of remain quiet where he won't say much because he doesn't want to blow his cover. Yeah, he caucuses with the Democrats and that, but see, he's there for them wedge issues. He's there for that final person. He's that final vote that turns the tide towards our more or towards our uh, enslavement. And so at the health care bill, yeah, he argued against it and whatnot, but or I think he said that he does not. He's not against it, but he's against a few things in it, which is typical political talk. Um, but yeah, when we have this is how it's going to work. We're going to get a landslide uh, Republican-dominated Congress coming up here, and when that happens, you'll see Joe Lieberman, who will support the Republicans when it comes to anything that has to do with national defense, the war on terror, spying, surveilling, the Patriot Act, torturing, um, anything that has to do with that, right? Because Republicans, for the most part, they're not conservative. They're just fascists. They're corporatists. They're not conservative. They're not small, super small government. They're not for liberty. They're not for free markets. They're anti-free market. So I just wanted to say that and clear that up. And so when you have a Congress dominated by Republicans in the future here, which will happen because that's Americans are hopefully they wake up and they start looking at third parties and stop looking at these two parties that have basically been taken over by the globalists, by the Rockefellers, by all these private bankers and these foundations and think tanks and they all have their little tentacles attached to these two parties. So hopefully Americans will wake the hell up and start looking at, if you're a Democrat, vote for a socialist. If you're a Republican, vote for a libertarian. And if you don't like any of it and you're sick of government, well, vote for the anarchist party. But don't vote for a Republican or a Democrat if you want someone that's going to be quote liberal or quote conservative, because either way you're going to get a fascist pig who's anti-freedom, anti-liberty, and anti-U.S. sovereignty. So this person right here, Lieberman, has no plans to make an endorsement in Massachusetts special election on Tuesday. And it says a spokesman for the senator shot down rumors that Lieberman would weigh in on closely watch of a special election in which Republican Scott Brown is waging a surprisingly tough battle against State Attorney General Martha Coakley, Democrat. Conservative bloggers have been floating a rumor that Lieberman, a centrist, independent senator who caucuses with the Democrats, will endorse Brown. I guess we'll kind of see what it plays out. If he really needs political points and political capital, then he will speak out for the Republicans, depending on how desperate he is and how much his cover has been blown as far as not being pro U.S. sovereignty and freedom and liberty. It says Lieberman had been a critic of some of the elements of the health care bill before Congress, and the conservative blocs had said the Connecticut senator would endorse the Republican in neighboring Massachusetts to aid the GOP in their effort to get the 41st vote in the Senate, enough to filibuster that and other bills. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to endorse that he's this one man that can turn the tide, but he's not going to turn the tide against the bill. He's just going to remain silent so as to not blow his cover. And this is what I'm getting at. This is Joe Lieberman's entire purpose, his role in this life, in this universe at this point in time, is to be a traitor to us. And I will say that, and I will believe it, and I know it to be true. So that's pretty much all I have to say about it. You just watch and you'll see Lieberman, who will be voting with Republicans on anything that has to do with bills that most of the people do not want. He will bind with the Republicans and say it's good for the security of the U.S. and the strength of the U.S. economy, and you'll hear that crap come out of his mouth because that's what he's there for. So no, he's not going to speak out and endorse this Republican because he wants this person to win, this Democrat most likely, because that will support this health care bill, which they're all of a sudden very, very confident. It was just a few days ago they were saying that it was hanging by the strings, this health care bill. Now it's, now they're just saying that they're going to get the majority vote or something. So we'll see what plays out. I just thought I would throw this up here and just document how politics really work in this country. I know I'm aware that most of the listeners of these videos are aware of that. But for those of you that have never heard of any of these videos before or do not or believe in the left-right paradigm, he's a very important person, and that's why I posted this article. Is because he's an important person. He's a key position because he says he's an independent, and he is a senior congressman, and he has a lot of clout, and he can make things happen. He can pass bills when all it takes is one vote, and he'll be that man. So just look out for him, and you'll see that I'm right. So thanks, and leave your comments.